Skydance.
A man fitting Macher's description was spotted at a sorority party at Windsor College in 1997, the same year the murders took place.
True crime podcast position. Also, people who enjoy listening to true crime podcasts. And by people, I mean me. I have problems. Discount Hemsworth. Chris or Luke, obviously. Maybe Liam, but only with a beard.
The Macher House Experience.
A real thing you can really do at the real filming location becomes a part of a real script, blurring the real line between real and real.
A real-life murder house.
Come on, Scott, you know the old expression. Houses don't murder people. Houses just put people in way over their heads with maintenance and keep up, and dig them so deep into debt they will have 30 fun-filled years of unbelievable stress and anxiety, but they get to experience all that in their dream home.
I mean, it's identical.
Yeah, because it's the same f***ing house that all the murders took place in. Why is Scott surprised?
Where's the bathroom?
Oh no, that's the closet that Sidney was hiding in. Remember, before she stabbed him with the umbrella?
Movie wants us to know that it has seen the movie that it's the 7th sequel to.
This is so cool!
Saying so f***ed up in such a weird way that it eventually cost you your life.
You know, they say Billy was the mastermind, but I've always been more of a Stu head. You heard the podcast? There's a lot of theories out there that Stu survived.
Forcing this Stu might be the villain setup through Scott's mouth, and with all the legitimacy of a guy who heard a thing on a podcast.
Hello?
Hello, Scott. Hello, Madison. Welcome to the Macher House Experience.
Considering we've seen in previous Scream films that you can download a fucking app that makes you sound exactly like a Ghostface killer, it's ridiculous that this murder house extravaganza couldn't have gotten a better Ghostface impressionist on the phone.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Roll a parody of credits.
Stab one.
Roll Me's in a Beam credits.
Did you just call me a bitch?
I know, that seems more like a Freddy Krueger word choice. I would be upset too, Madison. This attraction should stay more on point with its references. Or should I say more on stab? No, fair enough, I'll leave.
The fun part is over, Madison.
Cool, so when exactly did the fun part even happen?
Yeah, it's electric. That's what it does.
No, like it moved different.
And so now I will get closer to it, even though I suspect that now there might be a real person under the mask and cloak because I'm a Scot. Bringing a robot leg to a hunting knife fight, despite having the high ground for all of the stair fighting, Madison doesn't amputate all of Ghostface's limbs. The chandelier survives this. Great highlight reel kill, but a human body falling from a second story onto you doesn't just not hurt.
Jesus, you scared me.
That's a bit of a reach. Ben looks nothing like Jesus. Now Carl, he looks like Jesus. Well, the white one anyway. Also, I wouldn't have thought there was enough rubber left to be retreading this boyfriend might be the killer tire, but here we are.
I was home, bored, watching TV. The stab was on, and that just got me thinking of you.
The power of Ben's boner was activated by watching a movie about his girlfriend's mom being bonered and almost murdered by her boyfriend, which was a bold choice for Ben's boner. Also, this tactic works a lot better than it should.
Hey.
This generation is completely unaware of the appropriate time for introductions. Comically discarding a boyfriend when you've been caught hooking up by your parents cliche.
Can you knock? I did.
Sidney would be excellent at I did fucking knock sins.
I'm a good guy, Mrs. Evans.
You know what the quickest way to figure out if someone is a good guy is? If they feel the need to say out loud, I'm a good guy, they most likely are the opposite. They go to such insane lengths in this movie to make it look like Ben is a killer that it almost doesn't make any sense that he isn't.
Hypocrite.
Giving your mother shit by referencing a past boyfriend who snuck in her room and then attempted to kill her a few days later.
No more boys in windows, please.
Oh, so we can't have boys in windows, but we can have girls on film? Just because we know the deal with this franchise doesn't mean the set design needs to be so plastic heavy that it's basically creating a Dexter kill room.
What? Where'd you find that?
They've played it with such subtlety that this coat from the other movie was, in fact, a coat from the other movie. Forgive me while I throw down on this very confusing marquee for a minute. I assume this would be the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 1974 that they are showing at this theater. However, the original actually had a "the" in the title, making it The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Now, the 2013 sequel dropped the, but also dropped the massacre from its title. In fact, the only movie in the franchise called simply Texas Chainsaw Massacre was the 2022 sequel that went straight to Netflix. So either they're showing the original film and the person doing the marquee is an asshole who hates definite articles, or they're showing the piece of shit direct to Netflix sequel. Either way, I'm not fucking happy.
Hey, an old Dateline was on last night about the Ghostface killers in New York. Have you seen it?
As a thought experiment, let's pretend this reminder of the last movie is relevant. Also, this kid could have worn a t-shirt that says, I'm a suspect, and saved me and the movie 56 words.
Morning.
This woman could have worn a sweater that says, I'm a suspect, and listen, the point is, everyone's a suspect, even Sidney at this point, and that's the fun of it. And now I've sinned fun again. I really hope there's a lost interview with The Rock where he's talking about all the popular franchises he's been in and how he's franchised Viagra, and then McKenna Grace showed up and asked him to hold her beer. I mean, we've got Ghostbusters, Five Nights at Freddy's, the MCU, the Conjuring universe, and the upcoming new Scooby-Doo and Hunger Games projects. And if we want to focus on overall IP, you can throw Young Sheldon, The Handmaid's Tale, Paw Patrol, and The Haunting of Hill House in as well. Feels like, at this point, McKenna has an only franchise clause in all of her contracts. I mean, good for her, but also sequels, reboots, and remakes.
But it's not a safe world, Sid. And if we protect our children too much, they'll never learn how to protect themselves.
Good point. Less good when you're a serial killer magnet like Sidney.
Watch out!
Good to see the Spider-Man turn off the dark stunt team and is still finding work.
Where's Aaron? Aaron?
I'm here.
Aaron,
We need to talk about your Fluffy.
you most certainly do not.
You're very lackluster. Fluffy needs energy. Dogs are lively creatures.
The fact that there are drama teachers who talk like this to teenage kids just trying to get their fine arts credit and move on with their lives.
You're Sidney Prescott's daughter. You need to channel some of your mother's fire.
So Tatum needs to channel her mother's energy from surviving countless attempts on her life for playing a goddamn dog in a high school play? How does this asshole still have a job? F***ing tenure.
Your Fluffy's incredible.
This is the kind of dialogue you get when you train an AI exclusively on Archer and CinemaSins.
Why do you like me?
That's a really long list.
No problem, we can just skip.
Guess who? Did you miss me?
Ghostface calls are predictable, but still effective. No longer surprising, yet oddly comforting. At this point, they're less twist and more tradition. Honestly, I'd miss them if they stopped. Still, time to stop.
You were missed in New York. It's not the same without you.
What is also not the same in this movie are the killers, and these killers have zero to do with the killers from the NYC set Scream 6. It's kind of hard to miss someone at a place you weren't even f***ing at.
Surprise, Sidney.
Movie fires a shot across Tarantino's bow, and I'm here for it.
All available units to the high school theater now. I'm on my way, babe.
Mark, hurry.
Bold move driving with gun in hand. Hit a pothole and you're taking out a crossing guard, or God forbid, a sign spinner.
Start with liftoffs and landings. Okay?
Pine Grove High School's insurance premiums must be astronomical to let Aaron operate this without a stunt coordinator. Fun fact, during the shoot, Tom Cruise interrupted filming by landing a helicopter right inside the theater. He immediately climbed into the vent, insisting on playing the role of Krieger, and even brought his own rat, saying he'd walk unless the whole thing was done practically.
Please! Please!
The original concept for the Sabrina Carpenter music video somehow made its way into the script. Ghostface wastes the theatricality of this kill on rehearsal, instead of waiting for opening night when there'd be a captive audience, unless they know we're watching. Also, McKenna Grace's guts getting ghoulishly gutted.
Motherfucker!
Sidney unloading several rounds in a school was a choice, one that should have ended with her arrest.
Mom, what are you doing?
Tatum was able to be right at this door when her mom called her name, almost exclusively because it was written that way.
I didn't see you.
I was in the dressing rooms.
The whole time?
Casting doubt on a character no one was suspecting just to manufacture tension.
We don't even have an understudy.
This guy doesn't die.
What about the kids?
The entire Denver police force is with them. They're safe.
I'm gonna let the kid from Die Hard with a Vengeance illustrate the problem with that.
Look around, man. All the cops are into something. It's Christmas. You could steal City Hall.
Isn't Ben a computer junkie?
Pointing out the true opiate of the masses. Interesting. This okay boomer delivery, less so. So when a police force sweeps a house, they don't think to take a quick look-see up in the fucking attic?
Where are we?
I guess I get Sidney not wanting to go over all the grisly details of her past with her daughter, but she could at least let Tatum in on the fucking panic room she has set up in the house. What if Tatum was at home by herself when a Ghostface showed up? The second secret exit to this already very secret safe room feels designed by an architect of tension, not one of houses. I would give all the sins back right now if Mark said to Ghostface, "Let's talk some soup, asshole."
Get the police, Mom!
Police said they would go secure the neighborhood, which I now get was code for leaving the targeted family completely unprotected while pretending to be useful to the plot. Gale Weathers Ex Machina.
Did I get him?
If you have to ask that, I'm concerned suspension systems are now so good you can't recognize vehicular manslaughter. And of course, the Meek twins work with Gale because sequel's got a sequel.
Let's unmask this fucker.
At this point in the franchise, unmasking that fucker shouldn't take this long or require dialogue to tee it up. Also, I can't figure out whether the movie actually thinks we'll believe this is the only killer. Since we're only 48 minutes into the movie, I would assume it does not expect us to believe that. But I also can't figure out why it's building up suspense for a reveal we know will be someone we've seen at most once in the movie.
This was too easy. There's always more than one.
You were f***ing in Scream 3, Sid, where there was only one Ghostface. Just because it sucked doesn't mean you weren't involved. The movie has Mark Consuelos in it, but doesn't make him the killer or victim, and that seems like a missed opportunity.
AI?
I refuse. That is the death of civilization.
The markets do not require your cooperation nor your civilization. We will create shareholder value with or without you.
Could Stu be alive? That would be the better story, but it's too far-fetched.
Movie bats its eyelashes at the fan theory, then immediately friend zones it.
I want to be a fighter.
Honey, listen, I just don't know what you think of me.
Kids.
What about, him?
Yeah, that's John.
Marco IDs Stu and says he was released 2 weeks ago, but that information never reaches the police or triggers any follow-up with the hospital staff because it would immediately expose him and deprive us of an Ethan Embry in Act 3.
Any idea where he went after he was released?
No, I'm sorry, but for that information, you're gonna need a court order.
I say again, he just ID'd Stu. Getting a court order should be trivial if they would just involve the police, or knew a cop, or boned one, or was married to one.
Neighbor boy's sus. He's out there staring at the house. Not subtle at all.
The movie pointing out how not subtle this is doesn't make it any less not subtle. It just turns the lack of subtlety into the joke, and it seems pretty pleased with itself for doing so.
I've gone back 3 days. If the killer was hiding in the attic, he had to go into the house at some point.
Great point, but are the cops not reviewing the security camera footage? The chief of the goddamn police lives in this fucking house.
Could the footage be hacked? Clearly the killer is tech savvy.
Thinking tech savvy means all things are possible.
Did you two find the towels? You got everything you need?
Yeah, the water pressure was top notch, so thank you.
It's giving unsolicited Airbnb review.
How do you uncover a killer?
Assemble the suspects and then Agatha Christie them until they break.
Somehow, Agatha Christieing my college girlfriend was always more about getting her to tell me who she done it with.
What if I gave you what you've been asking me for since 1996?
That is a long time to hold out for a Tamagotchi. Movie has Mark approach this pile of tools like someone who wants to be attacked, and then expects me to care when he is. Well, I do care, just not in the way it wants. Also, Mark survives this.
So your parents own this place.
Yes, but they don't know we're here, so we gotta lay low.
But with the curfew, who will Chloe be concerned about showing up? And if they're laying low, then why have all these lights on?
How you doing?
Boyfriends who ask the dumbest fucking questions.
How could Stu Macher really be alive? Where's he been? Under a rock? Nobody recognized him for 3 decades?
That's a ridiculous retcon for any franchise. See, this time, it is all about nostalgia.
Script tries to run with the unfiltered brainstorming it picked up by leaving talk to text on in the writer's room.
She's a scream queen. Scream queens are not allowed to have happy endings. There's a reason they keep putting Jamie Lee in new Halloween movies.
Ignoring the economics of star power, the fact that they keep paying her, and the fact that we keep loving her for it.
Y'all want to read Wuthering Heights again for the first time?
We do not.
I mean, Billy Loomis had a secret love child, so who the knows anymore?
Throwaway callback to Samantha Loomis is throwaway and callbackish.
Where'd you get these calls?
My mom's cloud. Can you tell if they're fake or not?
I could get into how I've already been trying to see if you could deep fake Stu Macher, but I'll just leave a laptop in my car with those files open so you can discover them in a few and suspect I'm one of the killers. That seems like a better thing to do than fess up now.
I'm not buying it.
Good. I don't like a girl that everyone likes.
So you'd rather be considered a murder suspect than a likable person?
Okay, my money's on boyfriend.
Yeah, my bet's on creepy kid.
Casually telling suspected serial killers that you suspect they are serial killers is how you get casually stabbed, and they should know that by now.
Creepy's kind of hot.
Even if Lucas ends up not being the killer, which he's not, the power of boners still overruled Chloe's desire to survive the movie.
And per our discussion, this is my exclusive.
Reporters and journalists in movies always talking about getting the exclusive cliche.
Let's just hope that Stu's watching.
What are the chances he is, though? Very few people even watch television the standard way we used to. And as far as they know, if Stu is alive, there's a good chance he's unhoused. Seems like a ton of effort for something that probably has less than a 10% chance of even working. Just because it does end up sort of working doesn't make it any less mediocre of a plan.
You gonna play nice?
Of course not. I've been waiting for this interview for 30 years.
Using journalistic integrity to justify being an asshole.
I understand that you and your family are once again a target. Can you explain what's happening?
Movie acts like there's a rational reason that exists beyond the fact that it's a franchise and money is a thing.
I want to know what he wants, why he's doing this after all of these years.
Which are questions Sidney could have asked not Stu on the multiple times he's already f***ing called her.
How would you describe our relationship?
I think the description would go a little something like, Skip.
And you named your kid Tatum after the young girl who was brutally murdered all those years ago.
I named her after a childhood friend.
And Channing Tatum. And my pills guy.
How far is the TV station? I just really want to be with my mom right now.
We're super close. I mean, I'll take you.
Interview ends up being little more than the emotional excuse the movie needed to justify splitting up the group. Sidney gets to Gail's car, realizes she doesn't have the keys, and decides running to the tavern is faster than going back inside to get them. Bold move. Let's watch how that doesn't work out.
What is this?
This program is just open and active on his computer when they were at the bar, and he at no point attempted to explain the incredibly incriminating thing on his screen.
I can't wait to fucking kill you, Sidney Prescott.
So if he was just doing this to see if it was possible, why say that? He could have just said, the quick fox jumps over the lazy dog. After seeing this, the fact that Ben is not one of the killers becomes one of the hardest things to believe in this movie.
I really don't want to get stabbed tonight.
Not sure why Chad even cares, since based on the attacks on him in the last 2 Scream films, he's clearly immortal.
It's locked. We are locked in.
But who locked him in and why? Chloe isn't one of the killers, and she would be the one with the keys. Wasting pizza. I don't care if it's burned a little, that's fucking pizza. You eat around it. Lights go out in a horror movie right before the killer attacks cliche.
Where's the fucking door?
It feels like they fundamentally do not know they should be checking the exterior walls.
There has to be a back door.
Like my college girlfriend used to say, this feels like one of those situations where the back door is not the move. This moment, where Chloe is fighting Ghostface and then somehow mistakenly stabs Chad, is brought to you by a bunch of editing bullshit.
I got this.
He doesn't got this. Chloe grabs the keys as if she knows the door is locked, which would mean she locked the door. But why the f did she lock the door? No, I will not let this go. I understand that Ghostface didn't really go out the door and is lurking on the other side of the bar. I've seen a f***ing horror movie before. But what I don't f***ing understand is how Ghostface opened the door, because we already know it's locked from when Chad and Mindy tried it. And we know Chloe has the f***ing keys. This door is really grinding on my nerves. Bringing a crawl to a Ghostface fight. Scream 7 took what Randy said about sequels in Scream 2.
Death scenes are always much more elaborate. More blood, more gore. Carnage, candy.
And told it to hold its f***ing bucket of
Corn syrup. Same stuff they use for pig's blood in Carrie.
Maybe I don't understand physics, and the beer could flow through Lucas's insides, but wouldn't the tap itself have to be activated by someone? Discount streets from the opening scene in Vanilla Sky. Tatum momentarily subdues Ghostface with bric-a-brac, and somehow they recover from the embarrassment.
Help! There's somebody help me!
Tatum isn't screaming.
What are you waiting for, huh?
Because this is 100% an I know what you did last Scream moment, which is annoying since I know what you did last summer is the sloppy seconds left over from the mad success of the first Scream. This is like when the original Halloween 2 decided to be a Friday the 13th clone instead of being anything like its classic predecessor, which paved the way for Friday the 13th. Also, I hate that we live in a world where I have to specify the original Halloween 2. F*** you, Rob Zombie. And apparently walked all this f***ing way instead of trying to track Tatum down in his car. What the f*** is with people in this movie thinking that walking and running is faster than driving?
It's not me, Tate.
I know, I'm sorry.
What exactly is Tate sorry for? Even if Ben isn't involved, seeing him pretend to be Stu Macher, cursing out her mom, would make anyone react the way Tatum did. And how does Tatum know for sure Ben isn't a killer? I know one killer has already been disposed of, but there were 3 f***ing killers in New York. Why would she assume that isn't the case here?
I would never hurt you, okay?
I would just create deep fakes where I call your mom a bitch and say I'm going to kill her. Semantics. Calling your daughter when you know she could very well be in the middle of being stalked by a killer. You're Sidney f***ing Prescott. You should know better. If the killer already had the code, then why didn't they use it when trying to open the doors a few seconds ago? Also, Ghostface using the door code instead of just breaking the glass really makes it feel like the killer is a disgruntled barista who works for Sidney. It would be a hell of a twist if this was all about her union busting efforts. Opportunity missed.
I'm gonna talk you through it. You have your earbuds. Put them in, okay? You're gonna need both hands.
Sidney is suddenly thinking clearly about using technology to her advantage, but couldn't apply that to using a motorized carriage earlier.
And you pull the trigger, you aim for center mass, okay? And when he goes down, you shoot him in the head. I can't. I'm not like you. I can't.
Okay, if you want to pretend you're not going to shoot the killer for a bit, just to make yourself feel better, that's fine. But don't expect me to be interested. The movie makes no attempt to help me understand how this chair and table combo was more formidable than the fire extinguisher to the face. Surprise! Said no one who has seen any previous Scream films or horror movies in general.
Where are you?
Where the heart is.
So, the Titanic?
Remember me?
It makes sense why the killer would age Stu and scar up his face, since they're trying to make Sidney believe it's actually Stu. But why age Mrs. Loomis or Roman? Also, the deep fakes gloss over how Marco got enough footage to perfectly make them for all these characters. It's not like the 90s were an orgy of taking high-quality pictures and video at breakneck speed like it is today.
Where is my daughter?
I didn't have Nev Campbell going for the Mel Gibson shouts his lines about wanting his kid back method, but here we are.
I thought I'd go back to where it all started. A phone call, a girl and someone she cares about tied to a chair outside of her house.
Except Sidney wasn't there when Casey and Steve were killed at the beginning of the first scream. And while yes, she could have seen this reenacted in the first Stab movie, there's zero chance Sidney Prescott has watched a Stab movie. So I don't see why this scenario would have any personal connection to her. You know, usually I can't hardly wait until the killer or killers are revealed in these movies, but Marco being involved was such an obvious outcome when he showed some disturbing behavior in his previous scene. I guess him acting strange earlier could have just been that thing you do, but I was already willing to bet a Vegas vacation that he was one of the killers. Dancer, Texas, population 81.
You? Yeah. Me.
The exact feeling 98% of the theater audience had when Marco took the mask off somehow preemptively made its way into the script. For the record, the other 2% were either f***ing with their phone and or giving or receiving a handjob.
You've always gotta shoot him in the head.
This line has been uttered so often it has gotten to the point of absurdity and always makes me think I'm watching a scary movie and not a Scream movie when I hear it.
Isn't that right, Stu?
The stew baiting is beginning to feel patronizing.
Look at that! He's still alive.
He's still alive.
Jessica.
The exact feeling 99% of the theater audience had when Jessica took the mask off somehow preemptively made its way into the script. For the record, 1% of the handjob giver and receivers were done by the time Jessica removed her mask.
You didn't really think it was Stu, because that'd be dumb.
No dumber than these two being revealed as the killers.
See, I have a background in AI.
And now I'm going to tell you a bunch of stuff about my backstory that is not necessary for you to know, but horror movie killer reveal. Also, background in AI being used as a catch-all explanation for doing literally anything with technology.
Bringing Stu back was my idea.
No, it was my idea.
No, I just let you think it was your idea.
Serial Kidslers.
So I started planning and doing Pilates.
Jessica's.
And then I pulled a Sidney and I killed my husband.
Yes, because we all know that story where Sidney killed her non-serial killer but abusive husband.
I got away with it too.
But I'm confessing it now for no good reason because horror movie killer reveal.
A Ghostface attack doesn't count if you're not there.
It does.
When you disappeared, do you know how much that hurt me?
Okay, so Jessica is an obsessed fan who lives next to and has developed a close relationship with the person she idolizes, but she's still mad and murderous towards Sidney because privacy?
Do you think that you've been a good mother to Tatum? I mean, you really haven't taught her anything useful, am I right?
I don't know. I felt like shooting Marco in the chest several times through the f***ing wall seemed pretty useful.
I'm creating Sidney 2.0.
Oh, you don't want to do that, Jessica. Said everyone involved with making 2.0. Mother-daughter bonding.
You okay?
Mothers who ask the dumbest f***ing questions.
I'm Sidney fucking Prescott's daughter.
Guess she's now ready for her role as Fluffy. I really can't wait for that scene. We are going to get that scene, right? Right?
I was hoping you'd do it.
But why? And why? Mark continues to survive this after many hours of extreme blood loss.
You have always had my back, Gail.
Skip.
So that's why I named you Tatum.
You can keep pretending it has nothing to do with Magic Mike's Last Dance, but I refuse. I can now see how Carl the killer was able to get in the house and hide in the attic since they so nonchalantly like to leave the door open.
3, 2...
Oh, good. I was really hoping we'd get to see Mindy's first time on camera.
What's your name, understudy?